Hi, friends. Hello, welcome. Happy Tuesday. I'm just checking that I'm using the right mic. And happy fall, right? We're officially fall now. Obi has decided to lay right here at my feet, and this is where I need to roll my chair. So I'm gonna have to kick him out in a minute, but I'll let him stay just a little bit longer. Hello, Dr. Miss Raven. Hello, Viperous. I think I remember that from last time. Okay, let me see. Tilt this down a little more. Sorry for the shaky. I think that should be good. We're gonna be working on hats today, so it's gonna be a lot of here and a lot of the sewing machine, but it'll come closer. But I finished pretty much 2 Jolteon today. I need to sew the eyes down. Hello, love. So yeah, I need to sew the eyes down. They're just like lightly glued on right now. So here's the other one. One of them is for an order that's going out this week, and then one of them will be at Anime Inc. Jolteon and Flareon are the least popular from what I've noticed. So I think I'll be okay with just one. I want to focus on all the others first. So we're gonna do Eevee next. And this is also, one of them is an Etsy order, and one of them is going to be held back for Anime Inc. So those Halloween orders are coming in. Happy about that, but also like, why does this have to be my busiest time for conventions as well? Sorry, there's fuzz flying around. But yeah, September pretty much to March is like my busiest time for online sales and in-person conventions. So lots of work to do. All right, Obi, gotta go. Sorry, buddy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Gotta go. I gotta get here. Excuse me. I see you're awake. Your eyes are wide open. Lovely. Hey, I gotta get over here. Excuse me. Usually I say that once and he moves because he thinks I'm gonna hit him with the chair. Obi, go. Watch out. Watch out. Buddy. You're on my presser foot. I can't. Don't roll your eyes at me. Come on. You want me to get you a treat? Come on. Let's go. Goodness. I did poke you in the eye? I'm sorry. Where's Riddle Piddle? Easy. Okay. Now the puppies. Uh-oh. Sorry, Rid. Treats are already put up. Alright, now that the puppies are taken care of, I can move my chair. And get to my presser foot. Thank you. Here's Obi. He's the one sadly laying over there now. Even though he's a big dog, he likes to be confined. Yeah. So he will go just lay in the crate because he feels comfortable there, or he'll lay under the desks or hidden in a corner just to feel more comfortable. Who have you found is the most popular for you, or just the most popular hood you make in general? So Evolutions, Sylveon and Umbreon, definitely the most popular. I would say even Umbreon is probably the most popular. I think Sylveon could be tied, but people are like, oh, that's a white hat, like it's gonna get dirty. So I think that's why Umbreon, even though Umbreon is already really popular in like evolution rankings, being that it's a black hat versus a white hat, I think that's why Umbreon usually wins. And then overall, the most sold hood would probably be Umbreon too. I would think. It also is up in the air because it depends on if I make, like, I always prioritize my evolutions. But, like, right now, I think if I were to bring lots of Pochitas, like the Chainsaw Dog from Chainsaw Man, I think that that one could give Umbreon a run for its money. So it kind of depends on what's popular, too. But I always prioritize evolutions because I feel like there's always going to be Pokemon fans at any event I go to, and everyone always has a favorite evolution. So it's always a safe bet. And I do like to always have Eevee on hand because if you like evolutions, you have to like Eevee because that's where it comes from. So if I don't have your evolution, you might just get Eevee because that's the base for all of them. Appa. Yeah, the Appa hats are popular. I think, though, that also runs into the problem of it's a white hat, so I do think that that deters people sometimes. And usually if they ask my opinion and they're like, I don't know, what do you think? What's the most popular, or what do you suggest? And I'm always like, if it's between a darker or a lighter one, I'm always like, well, to be honest, this is a white hat. I don't know where you're gonna wear it to, but odds are it's gonna get a lot more dirty faster. And I do tell people that they can wash their hats. I recommend hand washing or like spot cleaning first. But if it gets really dirty, you can put it in the washing machine. It just is going to make the fleece start to peel more. So like get the little balls and not keep its like thickness as well. It's going to wear it down. And then of course, because there's stuffing in the like ears and appendages, that can make it get like floppy and stuff too. But I have finally washed a hat, and in this scenario, I washed two Sylveon hats because I used like an oil-based marker instead of like a fabric marker. And so the black that I was using for the eyes, I do embroidery on it now, but when I was using black on the eyes, it like spread through the rest of the hat. And it looked like some kind of disease was spreading. So of course I'm not going to sell those. Even for a discounted price, it looked like way too bad to even sell. So I was like, well, here's my test to see how they hold up in the washer and the dryer. And they actually came out better because it got rid of that black that was like spreading into the white. So because it was oil based, but it wasn't like a permanent. So it just washed out, except for the places that I needed it to be, like on the eyes. But now Joey and we haven't done anything with them, but they're in our closet. So maybe one day we'll do a cosplay. I think it'd be really cute to do like a cute little Sylveon, kind of Lolita, but also a little bit market girl. I want to have like an apron, but with Sylveon colors, and wear it at our table when we sell. I think that would be cute. And then after we do these two Eevees, I have 3 Umbreons cut, and 2 of them are going to be regular, and then I am going to do 1 shiny. Because I did see last year at Anime Inc. I brought a shiny one, and I think that was the first hat to sell. Sorry. I would love to do more shiny versions. I've really only done shiny Umbreon and shiny Sylveon, because I do think those are the prettiest shinies, because they both turn blue, and blue is my favorite color. I do like the Vaporeon shiny. It's like a pinky purple, I think. So, can't go wrong with that. That is my favorite evolution. And then some of them don't change at all. Like, Glaceon is just a little bit different color blues, I think. Jolteon becomes, like, green, right? It was like an obnoxious green color. And I like the color green too, but this is like a lime green. And then what else? Eevee turns like a whitish, right? Like a really light brown, almost cream.
Unfortunately, so
is that an ad?
It's gotta be something.
I should probably turn this up just a little bit. That would be really cute. Thank you. I think so. But we have so many ideas for cosplay, so who knows which ones will actually come together. And Leafeon, I can't remember Leafeon's shiny right off. Silver. Oh yeah, Eevee. I would see Eevee being, yeah, like a silvery color. Alright, I'm gonna sew up all these. I call them the body, even though it's actually more of like an arm. It's like the sleeve part of the hood or whatever, but the body of the hat. The main piece of the hat. We're gonna sew up all 4 of these and then stuff the ears. Joey and I have started playing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And it's been pretty fun. I like getting back into a Pokemon game. And I have someone to hold me accountable so that I will hopefully actually finish it. So Pearl on like the DS, not like Shining Pearl or whatever it is that they re-released, just Pearl, was the game that I had got the furthest on, Pokemon game that I got the furthest on. And I thought I still had it. I would swear that I still had it. But in 2020, I was like going through my stuff because I like moved to an apartment. So I was kind of clearing out some of the stuff that I had. And I was getting rid of some games. And apparently Pearl is one of the ones I got rid of. But I thought, like, I was sure of myself. I was like, I would keep that one out of all the games. Because I had 2 out of the 4 Elite Four. Like, that's how close I was to beating that game. But I played it like on vacation. And then when vacation was over, I was like, well, back to the real life. So I never went further with it. And yeah, apparently I sold it. But I didn't sell my Sims 2 DS game. It is still somewhere. Unless I sold it with like a bundle or something and I didn't like look closely at the bundles, but Hopefully it's in my room somewhere. Close? What, to beating the game, is that what you're saying? Was I not actually close? All I can think about is, like, those people we were watching on YouTube that were, like, buying old Pokemon games. Or not old, but buying Pokemon games and looking at the save file and seeing where these people were. And some of them stopped, like, got one badge and stopped or whatever. And I can't imagine them, like, getting my game and being like, this person got 2 out of the 4 Elite Four. Like, not even, you know, not even right before the Elite Four and thought that, like, oh, maybe I beat the game, you know, when I got all the badges. Or, like, defeated the Elite Four. No. I only went halfway through. And if I remember correctly, you can't turn around. Like, you kind of have to just buy a whole bunch of stuff. Like, a whole bunch of revives and everything. Because after you enter, you have to fight all 4. There's no, like, oh, well, let me go back and train up my Pokemon some more. I think what you go in is what you go in with. No swapping out Pokemon. Is Cynthia in the Elite Four? I can't even tell you who I fought. I'm very bad at characters. I'm assuming either she's the last one or she's, like, outside of the Elite Four. Doo-doo-doo. I just remembered when I was talking about the Appa hat that I told the people at MegaCon, they always buy something from me, and they really love Avatar: The Last Airbender. And they always ask for a Momo hat. And I was like, I'm gonna make a Momo hat. I'm gonna try my best. So, out of anything, for my goal for MegaCon needs to be make a Momo hat. Which that is a couple months away, or several months away. So, I don't have to stress about it too much, but she's a generator. Wait, no, never mind. I'm here. Welcome, Tia. Just had a tornado watch. Ooh. Yeah, it was pouring here, but it's better now. She's the person you fight after you beat the Elite Four, but, like, immediately after. Oh, so, like, the Elite 5. Joey said stay safe. Yeah. I've kept the dogs inside most of the day because it's been pouring outside. And then I let them out just in time to bark at the people that came to mow our neighbor's yard. But I guess I better keep an eye out. I don't know if it's moving this direction or whatever, but it looks fine outside right now. It actually looks nice and sunny. Just finished unloading the car from my market. Oh, how did it go? They just crammed hundreds of us in a hallway. Oh no. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking you were home. But you were like, were you in class or were you at work? Around 5? Oh, great. Hopefully you won't have to drive through that. I'm making this lasagna soup for, not for dinner tonight, but probably tomorrow night. And I was wondering why it was so watery, but it's like lasagna soup. So you put pasta in it to be like the pasta noodles. But I was like, I'm just gonna save the noodles for later. Like I don't need to cook it right now since we're not gonna eat it right now. But then I realized it was so watery because the noodles are supposed to go in there while you're cooking it to soak up all the liquid. So then I did end up putting the noodles in, but it's like just sitting, and it's like you can add more water to get the consistency that you want. But when I add more water, the noodles just suck up the water. So I don't know. I'm not gonna add any more water now because it's gonna lose the flavor. But these might be some big noodles. Sucking up all the water. At work. Okay. Interesting. I'm sure that was a fun time. The market was alright. I made $48 in card, and second day I only had 3 sales. Oh. Well, you said that it was alright, so I hope you're happy or okay with that. I know only having 3 sales, like I don't know how many hours you stayed, but even if you stayed for 3 hours, only having a sale an hour, that's rough. But it was like a local one, right? You didn't have to pay too much for it. It had broth. Well, it is a broth. Like, I know I said I'm adding water, but there's other stuff in it. I put cubes, like the bouillon cubes, with the water, so it makes it a broth. So it's not gonna be watery unless I add too much water, but according to this recipe, we're still on the right track. But I would add broth if I had some, but we just don't use broth that fast, so we just use the cubes. Made more than the Comic-Con weekend. Okay, perfect. That's always good. It's not your worst. So, always an improvement. Do you think you'd do it again? Because I know sometimes, even for slow events, I'm like, if it's close, you know, and I can work on stuff while it's slow, might as well make some money while I'm also working and prepping. My MatsuriCon video is live. That's the one where Joey and I go to help Bethany sell at MatsuriCon in Columbus, Ohio. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out after the live is over. Or you can check it out now and come back. That's fine too. Then we can talk about it. But yeah, this Friday, the Possum Fest video should go up. It's edited. I just have to finish the thumbnail. So it for sure will go up. I'm like 3 videos ahead right now, which is nice. I just need to stay ahead and not slack off with my video. I want to try to film another tutorial video for like Splatoon, for the male version of the Splatoon hat. So I think that's my next goal. So hopefully I'll do it again. The holidays are coming soon. Okay, yeah. Holidays are always good. People buying more. Do they offer like a holiday market at that same place that you did? Or is it like only a one-time event? My mom went to an event last Saturday called like Cow Days, I think. And apparently they have a bunch of different ones. Kind of, I guess, like the Possum Fest. There's like a Cow Days. There's a, I think, not pig. I think they call it hog. Hog Days? Hog Fest? I don't know. But she went to this one, and I guess they probably were advertising all these other ones. And I was like, you should do this one. Check into this one. Well, one of them is like this weekend. I'm like, they're not going to have any openings. I don't have time. I'd rather put all my inventory that I have right now towards Anime Inc. because I know I can at least make 2,000 there, hopefully. That's before expenses, though. So after expenses comes out, it won't be that much, but I'm like, I'll check next year, maybe. Gotta focus on what makes me the most money. Groundhog Day. Oh yeah, you know, all the animal events. That would be a cool once a month. Sweet. Okay. So you kind of have, you have that in your back pocket that you can do if you don't have anything else going on. It would be a cool list or like goal to do all these different like animal events. Like, I'm sure there's a horse. I'm trying to think of what they would call it. Like, horse. I don't know. I'm not good with coming up with, unless it's a pun, I'm not good with coming up with good names. What are other animals? They definitely have a horse days or something. Cow, pig. Some kind of chicken. The chicken club. I see some people do these car shows. Like, there was one around here. It was like coffee and cars, or cars and coffee. But I just don't think that my stuff would be good there. I don't think that that would be the right audience for me. Yeah, the reason we're not eating the lasagna soup tonight is we're going to go with my nieces and my half-sister, who are all kind of around the same age. And I'm like, I guess even like my half-sister, I'm kind of like an aunt in a way. We have that more of a relationship because we haven't been in each other's lives the whole time. So it feels kind of more of like, or either I feel like a big sister to my nieces, which also could be the case. But we're all kind of like, I want to be the fun aunt or the fun big sister in a good way. I don't want to like get them into bad habits or like, oh yeah, here's your first drink. Like, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be the one that comes and picks you up because you had drinks when you weren't supposed to. I'm not going to encourage you to do it, but I'm also not going to yell at you if you did. Until later, maybe. Can I help you? Obi's whining. I don't know. It's a beautiful day. You could go outside and eat some dirt. I know that's what you love to do. Oh, there are people who are asking people if we are registered to vote, and they were asking the vendors. Oh yeah, I had someone in at Lexington Pride. The Pride event that I did in Lexington, asking if we were registered to vote. And honestly, I'm not upset about it. I'm happy to know that they were coming around to a Pride event. and making sure that we are registered, because I do think that that's a, like, if I'm on any type of, oh, get these people more votes, that's gonna be like, I'm glad you came to a Pride event type thing to reach out to us. But I understand too, it could be like, hey, I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here for this. Came here to sell, not be asked about voting for politics. But that's where, you know, that's the year, and we're a couple months away, so. Doodle. Yes, here's the doodle. Tia's saying doodle. Yeah. Daisy's jealous. Apparently, Joey said that there's a commercial. I missed it, but I don't know if it's a Kroger commercial or what, where one of the dogs is named Doodle. And I was like, Doodle? There's a Doodle. Yeah, you're a Doodle. I'm gonna have to chug some water. I got this frog in my throat, and I can hear it when I talk. It's driving me crazy. Look at him. Those people that were there are being rude about it. Oh, yeah, well then I wouldn't have been happy about that. Yeah, you always get that, you know, you get the people that stand out on the side of the road and wait for all the convention to end, and they're just waiting to shake their flags at ya, or Bibles or whatever. It was a wolf? Oh, it was! Yeah, because you're like, it's a dog. And you're like, wait, I think that's actually a wolf named Doodle. I thought it, oh, but it wasn't it for like the Call of the Wild, like dog food or something, which has like, it was for dog food brand, I think, which makes sense that it was that one because there's a wolf on it. All right, this is the last long piece. I'm gonna give it a trim, and then I can stuff some ears. Looks good. Let's turn these ears inside out and stuff them. I'm using a paintbrush right now. I do have a stuffing stick. I did find one. I put a picture of the Korok hat on the thumbnail because I technically was working on Korok hats this morning. And I like to include at least one picture that has my like face in it. I just feel like that is a little bit more attention grabbing than like my face with product or holding something or whatever. But I feel like that's a little bit better than if it was just a bunch of pictures of product. I don't know. I didn't take a marketing class. I think I signed up for one and then I like switched to something else. So who knows? I could be wrong. But yeah, I will have some Korok hats at Anime Inc. One of them is going out, but I'll have 4 unless more of them sell online. And I think a gnat just landed on my forehead. I have a blue bucket hat Now that I'm thinking of it, I want to pull it out so I can find the right color. So give me 1 second. Sorry for the rustling. Okay. Rustle, ruffle. Sometimes if I talk while it goes on, it's not as loud. But here's the blue. It actually is really nice. I haven't compared it size-wise to the red and the yellow. This is going to be for blue Pikmin. And now the problem is I just have to find the blue color that matches. And the dark blue that I have might be close, but it could also be close where it's like completely off. Because I don't know if you guys know this, there's so many shades of blue. Okay, so here it is, like from a distance. Now if we put it right up on it, I think it'll be okay. Hold on, let me switch. Yeah, definitely on camera, you guys can't really see a huge difference. It's probably more of a thing, like, it'll bother me more than it bothers other people, but this might be the closest that we can get. I'm talking. The other option is always to buy an extra hat and kind of like cut it, but the only usable fabric part that I have would be like here in these side pieces. I don't know. Why do you always... I think it's because I'm talking, but I'm not talking to him, so he gets jealous. What? Will you beat up your brother, Daisy? Beat him up. Get him. Get Obi. The top is lighter. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do it because I know that that's the only color blue that's closest, and see if it sells. People might not really mind as much, and then if people say something or if they have a problem, I will see about other options. I don't even know if I can get those blue bucket hats again because it took me that long to actually find a blue color that wasn't blue jean or like sky blue. So to actually have like a royal blue color, which is like the color of the Pikmin, was a find in itself. Alright, he's chilled out now that he's had his tantrum. And he can go outside. He can go... He's just a human. He doesn't want to be with the other dogs. He wants to be with the humans. I don't know if I finished what I was saying about my nieces. But basically we're gonna go get dinner tonight, and I want to do it where it's kind of like a at least once a month type thing where we go hang out and I catch up with them, because they are getting to the age where life choices could happen, or they could go down certain paths, and it could be what they, you know, choose for their future. And not saying that I feel like I have that big of a pull over them, but I would like to be there, if anything else. So, that's the hope. Oh, he's back at it again. The thing is, though, I've just thought of this, and getting really deep right now. They, kind of all of us, because we're all females, and none of us have really had good male role models in our life. Not that you know, as a female, I do feel like you need more female role models, but like dad, like none of us have had that, like, this is my dad, I can rely on him. So, I do, like, I can't offer that clearly, but maybe I can offer them the bonding over not having that. Bonding over the trauma dumping. So. But they're good girls. For the hands that they've been dealt, they're doing pretty good. Uh-oh. I hear Riddle Piddle barking outside. Ridley, who is the elder dog, he's not even that old, but he's the oldest, so he does get privileges when it comes to going in the crate, which they don't go in the crate anymore because we have a doggy door. So we usually just close them in the living room area if we're like going to work or whatever. But yesterday, my niece and her boyfriend came over, and Ridley doesn't like males, like people, like boys, men. And so we went to put him in the bedroom, but him and Daisy both, because they're both barking, he was soaking wet because it was raining and he'd been outside. So we're like, okay, get in the crate because you're not getting on the bed. And he was like, I don't understand that concept anymore. I don't know what a crate is. And I'm like, don't act like you have this privilege now. Like, you're the higher than all because you haven't been in a crate in, I guess, a year. Because he also is not, I think he might have gotten in trouble once for getting in the garbage. He's definitely got into it more than that, but like, I think he got put in there once because he got caught in the garbage, because usually it's while we're gone. But almost a year, basically, that he hadn't been in a crate, and we're like, get in the crate. He's like, on the bed? He's like, lay down? They are fortunate to have someone like you caring for them. Oh, thank you. Well, they have someone they can trust and go to that they know they can rely on. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's the main thing I want, is to have someone that they can trust. And that's why when they do something, luckily I'm their aunt, not their mom, so I can be the one that's like, be there and not have to discipline them, because I know that they're gonna get that anyways. So I can at least be the one that's like on their side, in a way where if they're doing anything dangerous, they would probably tell me and like let me know, and then I can be like, no. I'm telling your mother. So yeah, I try not to be the one that's like, why would you do that? That's a terrible idea. You're too young. Don't do things like that. And instead be like, are you making smart decisions? Are you hanging out with the right people? Should you be hanging out with those people? Because I don't know about you guys, but like, I, after school, would go straight home, and I'm like, I don't know what I did after school. But I pretty much just like did my homework, and because I wasn't a big video gamer until into high school, probably. So like, I played console games, but it was like on road trips, or not console games, well, handheld console, like DS basically, or when I was with like my cousins. But yeah, for the most part, when I came home from school, it was like go play outside, and then until I got older and my friends moved away, then it was like go hang out with my nieces and like help babysit. And I did sports too, so sometimes it was sports. But I'm like, when I was old enough to drive, I did not have any intention. Like, I didn't want to go sit in my car out in the parking lot. I'd probably be bored out of my mind. Like, what am I gonna do? But when I was sophomore in high school is when I started sewing, so then that kind of took over the rest of my life. Alright, we got one more ear to stuff. Are you all working on anything? Anybody prepping for a convention? I know Dr. Miss Raven just finished the market. But does anybody else have a market this weekend, which is the last weekend in September, right? And the next weekend is the first weekend in October, which is gonna be, for me, Anime Inc. And that's crazy to think about. Ooh! That's why today has been hat day. I can't with you. Because I don't know. Like, I wanted to dedicate all day to Scooty hats, because I'm not sure what the rest of my schedule looks like. I've been going hard on plushies. We made five Koroks yesterday. I'm slowly getting Kirby's made because I have bodies, and then I just, when I get downtime, sew on the arms and feet. What else did I make? Lethal Company, I did that, I think, last week after the live. So I had like 6 Lethal Company. Kind of a lot of those like embroidery stuff that I do that I can then cut out and sew. I did 3 squids, but I need some octolings. And then we started working on Korok, bucket hats. I've done a few Pikmin, but also they keep selling. Not that I'm complaining. They keep selling on Etsy. So I don't even know if I have any red Pikmin bucket hats in stock. And I like to have at least one of each color because I think that it's really pretty to have them all there together. All right, prepping for a few cons later in the fall. Finishing a pair of feet, paws, and some fursuit commissions. Nice. Those are definitely some time-consuming things. Finishing up my last batch of Halloweenish weighted dragons for Anime Inc. Ah, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see them. I love the idea of Halloween dragons, but like weighted dragons. That sounds really fun. I think I want to make a few more Koroks. I have like 10 right now, I think. Which I think is a good number. I don't think I'm going to sell 10 because it's kind of died down, but I would like to make the orange Koroks again because it is kind of getting fall. But I think one of my flash drives keeps getting corrupt that I use for my embroidery. Luckily, it's not the one that has everything on it. So I kind of just stopped using that flash drive. But I think it had the orange, like, so I have the Koroks that are like the actual like leaf shape or like heart. And then I had one that was like more like a diamond kind of like shaped like this. And I think I lost that one. It's on my computer, I think, but it might need a little bit of editing. I don't know if I have the like finished save file for it. But it's so cute. Someone I met them at MegaCon, and their son loved my Koroks. It was like, I think MegaCon was when I debuted them, and I had 2 different color greens. I think I had a light green, a dark green, and then I had the orange. And then I had 2 different color bodies. I had like this camel color, and I had a little bit darker brown. And the boy wanted, I think it was his grandpa he was with first. He wanted 2 Koroks. And so they got 2. And then I think they came back the last day, and there was only like one of the orange ones left, I think. And he got that one. And then when they got home from MegaCon, I believe it's the mom messaged me and said that he's only missing, and I think she talked to me before the convention was over too, about like if there's a color that you know, want or don't have, or like something different, like let me know, I can easily do it. And he was only missing one. He had like a light brown body with a dark green face. He had like a light body with a light green, like all the different combinations, and he was only missing like 2, I think, of the other. So I added on my Instagram story that I added this new color green. It's like excuse me, it's kind of a little bit more of a yellowy green. I don't have a scrap piece right now, but I was kind of like cleaning out my scrap bin, and I found that, and I posted it on my Instagram, and she's like, are these on your website, or like, can I buy these? And I like realized that was the lady that the son was like, because she's like, my son would like 2 of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you the one that bought like every color that I've ever had of Koroks? And she's like, yeah. So I thought that was really sweet, because they want the 2 new color, and I was like, well, I don't have any of the dark bodies yet, but if you want, I can easily make like a dark brown body. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I really didn't think with my business that I would have people that would come back, if that makes sense. Because like, unlike prints, or I guess kind of stickers too, if you know somebody's like art, you're like, I'm gonna get a new print from them. But with plushies, I know that they're kind of expensive, so it's not something that you necessarily collect or want multiple of. Or like these hats, you can only wear 1 at a time, so why are you gonna buy, you know, 3 different hats? But yeah, so that's really exciting when someone's like, yeah, I need to collect all the different Koroks. That just makes me happy. Saw Anime Inc. shared them yesterday / this morning. An orange one would be so cool for the fall season. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was the other thing, is like around that same time, Anime Inc. I posted on my story and like said that these will be at Anime Inc. So I like added Anime Inc. And yeah, they shared it on their story. So I love that. And I don't know if they'll continue to do that, but I'll probably anything else that I post, I'll be like, this will be at Anime Inc. Or I'll try to get like a post at least a couple days before that kind of show off what I have. Because I have had some people that be like, oh yeah, I saw your post and that you had Kirby's, so I came to find the Kirby's. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know if anyone will see this. But even for MegaCon, like really big conventions, I posted in their like fan page where you can like share stuff, you can share your cosplays. I posted that, you know, I'd be selling when I first introduced my Kirby's, and I had several people before I even like opened my booth that came to get a Kirby because they saw my post, and I was like, what? Of course I'll sell you a Kirby. So don't forget that You don't have to just wait till the convention to start promoting yourself. Okay, I think I need to move this ear down a little bit. A shiny Eevee would be cool. I just don't know, like, you know, they don't... Silver is technically like a metallic color or like a shiny color. So you would kind of have to use gray fleece. So that's kind of a hard, like, what color do I use? Or I go and use like a white-ish color, and then we're back to the, oh, why don't I just get brown because it won't get as dirty or dirt won't show. Making sure I get all these layers because it's a lot going on with the ears and the little fur that sticks up on top. I think for the longest time I thought that this color was caramel, which would work. It would make sense. Until one time I told my mom, and I had read it very clearly, like several times, even ordered it online. And I was convinced that the name of this color was caramel. Until one day I sent my mom to like Joann's to buy some for me. And I was like, yeah, it's caramel. Like it's a, you know, like a tan color, light brown. And she's like, I only see camel. And I was like, you know what? It could be that. It was very close. I was like, that's probably it. Just get that one. So, both would be fitting. Both would work. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's camel, not caramel. Alright, now we make the other side. When I was making Jolteon earlier today, so the pockets are like reversible, but they do technically have like a right and wrong side because, you know, one of them curves in, one curves out. And like for this especially, you can see like this is a little bit fuzzier and then this side is a little smoother. So when I was making Jolteon, it's harder to tell that with the just Blizzard fleece. This is like the anti-pill, meaning it won't ball up as much. And when I went to make Jolteon, I went to put the two pieces together because you have like, you know, like half like this and you have half like this. And I went to put them together and they didn't match. And I was very confused because I had another hat and it matched up perfectly. So I'm like, what's the problem with this one? Clearly, I didn't pick the wrong sides. Turns out the pocket was just inside out and that was like throwing me off when I was looking at it. But I don't get that far like where I sew it up. But when I first started doing the hats and like working with fabric, it happened several times because I was mostly working with Blizzard fleece. So if I wasn't paying attention and just like in the groove, I would miss it. So there's a couple of OG line around sewing hats that have pockets that are technically on wrong, but no one would probably notice unless I was like looking at it and said something. Because you can just flip it back and it's fine. Or like, it's not fine, but you can flip it back and it's non-noticeable unless you're staring. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do anything like Halloween themed. We're getting to the point where like it's a little late. But I know now would be the time to do it for Anime Inc. Because then I'm going to have to go like straight into Christmas mode. But also, I think I would rather focus on just making hats for people's Halloween costumes right now. Because I can tell that the Evolution hats have also popped off this week too. So people are preparing. Which I'm glad, because some people will wait to order a hat from me like October 20th. Be like, I need this hat in time for Halloween. And I'm like, well, I can do my best, but you know, I can't control shipping. So you're cutting it close. I do like implementing the idea mostly for Christmas because I think that can get like pretty hectic. Halloween is a little bit more manageable because just with the mail around Christmas time, you have like a specific cutoff date where they're like, can't guarantee this will make it by Christmas anymore. But adding the personalized message and where they have to put a personalized message, but basically it's just saying, you agree that this won't make it by Christmas type thing. Where they can't like throw a fit because they have to put like yes or no. So they can't say, oh, I didn't know it wasn't gonna make it by Christmas, when they like clearly checked yes or no basically. And that's very handy. I use that for my my digital files too. When someone orders a digital like embroidery file or a pattern, it says like you understand that you're not getting a physical item. The only problem with the Christmas thing is there's been several times that I forgot to take that off the listing. And it'll make it all the way back to like November of the next year. And I'll have someone message me, be like, this says that it won't make it by Christmas, but you know, it's November, and so I'm hoping to at least, I was actually trying to get it by the end of November. And I have to be like, I'm so sorry. Yes, that is, I didn't realize that was still on there. Yeah, it will definitely make it before Christmas. I think that scenario has only happened once, but I definitely have left it on there a little bit longer than it should, just not that long. And what happened with that one was, it was an item, I think it was like a Magikarp hat, that had been sold out for a while, and so I just used that listing to list it back up, and I didn't pay attention when I relisted it, that it had that attachment. Alright, adding our tags. We're almost done with the first one. The thing with Jolteon and Eevee is they have the little fur on top of their head, like this, and I technically can't really sew over it when I'm sewing like the inside seam, because I risk it getting caught in the way that it's like folded. And then if I do it, it either will get caught and I'll have to like seam rip it, or it could get a little crease in it that I don't want. So to avoid that, I sew all the way up to that seam, and then I just hand sew the little gap that I leave open. But yeah, that's something about these evolutions, because these are probably the two simplest evolutions. Umbreon is pretty simple, where there's not the hair in the middle, but I do have to sew the circles on both like sides of the arms, so it does take a little bit extra time. Sylveon, of course, is the most complicated. But I've been able to use my embroidery machine to make that a little bit easier. I now can like make the little like ribbon pieces on the embroidery machine, and then I just have to like sew the base of the ribbon like not by hand, but on my sewing machine. So really being able to do those like little pieces on my embroidery machine saved me so much time. Because at one point I was charging $5 more for Sylveon. This was back when my items were like $40 and $45. So $45 was the ones that were more complicated. But to make things easier, I found kind of like a middle ground where, yes, these hats are more complicated, but these are like so simple where I feel like we have a balance. Look at these goobers. Aw, little kisses. What a bunch of cuties. And they're gone. They are now mowing the other neighbor's yard, so the dogs are going to be in and out. So I think I had a glitch in the Matrix because I needed purple thread. And I don't usually need purple thread. Like, I rarely use purple thread. So there's not really a reason I would have bought 2. But somehow I've ended up with 2 purple thread, like, cones. Like this. The one that I remember buying was in my bag with, like, fabric that I bought from, like, Joann's. And I remember one time going and they didn't have purple thread. But the time I remember buying purple thread, put it in a bag with other fabrics. So when I go and clean out my car one day after a convention and I'm like taking stuff out, I find purple thread. But there was that one was brand new in the package. This other one was in my room, brand new in the package. So, I don't know what happened. And I mean, I could check the receipts to see if I have purple thread, but I haven't, like, looked. Because that's even if I have the receipts. But I try to keep them because, you know, tax reasons. But sometimes they get lost in my car. So now I have 2 things of purple thread. And now I am short on white. So if, like, 2 white or just even 1 white thing of thread could just appear, that would be awesome. All right, I'm going to go over this one more time. Did you forget you got it and bought it again? That's a possibility, but I just don't remember buying what I'm assuming was the first one, because it was, like, in the trunk of my car. So unless this was, like, months apart, I do see that as, like, probably the, like, realistic option. But, like, when I brought in this one, like, when I found the purple thread in my trunk, it was only a couple days after I just bought this new thread. So that's why I was really freaked out. I was like, I just bought purple thread and that is not the thread that I bought. All right, see, these are the little holes that I was talking about right here. So I'm gonna hand sew that down, but I'm gonna finish this other one first. Yell at me if my mic dies, because I don't remember if I charged these after, which I say that every time. But the problem is it's not a consistent thing. I either plug them up right after I get done with my live so that they are charged, or I don't plug them up at all. And then I get to stream day and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know if I charged my mics. Well, let's go charge one in the other room. And then hope that this one stays alive for a while. But it's doing pretty good. I think if it didn't get recharged, it would have died by now, because this is like mic number 1, and I usually use that one first until it dies or almost dies. I might do a well-known night market. Ooh, nice. Like well-known where if you say it, like everyone will know, or well-known in your area for the people in your area. Either way, that's awesome. I was just curious if I knew what it was. But I don't know a whole lot of night markets other than the ones in California that people vlog about. That's about it. It is well known in my town. Okay. Gotcha. Oh wait, I need to put this in here. It's been going on for a long time. Nice. That's always good to try one that's been around for a bit, because it usually has a pretty good crowd. I've still never done a night market, and I don't know if I will or when, if I ever will, but I was already getting like kind of like, what am I gonna do when the sun goes down for the Possum Festival? And then Joey reminded me, like, when that event was going on a couple days before, he's like, it's like the sun doesn't go down till like 8 o'clock, and the event ends at like 8 o'clock. So you'll be fine. Because I'm like, I need lights. I need some string lights. What if it's dark and no one can see? But if I do a night market, that's something that I would have to get, because I do not have any kind of like generator thing. I don't have any like string lights or any kind of plug. In the Anime Inc. vendor thing, we get electricity. At least that's what it said. So I'm like, do I bring my embroidery machine? And then I just bring more like beanies. And if I run out of beanies, I can just make more beanies while I'm there. I would say that I could do custom orders, but then I'd have to bring my laptop too. And that would be a lot. But I don't know. It always makes me nervous because I'm afraid I'm going to get this idea that I'm going to make all this stuff, and then I'm going to forget one little like important thing. Like I'll get my machine and I'll get the stabilizer, and then I'll forget like white thread. And then I'm limited on what I can make if I don't have white thread. So I've only brought my embroidery machine once to a convention, and that was when I was first starting. It was at OMG Con, and I brought this machine. Actually, it was half.
No.
It's a.
No.
Oh, I was like, what is that?
No, he's sleeping.
Thought somebody was in the room with me. It's half embroidery, half sewing, so I was able to switch, but I mostly just did embroidery, and I did keychains, and they could like pick the ribbon color and stuff that they wanted. But I think I only made like 3, so it was like the little wristlet keychain things. I mean, it couldn't hurt. Yeah, that is very true. The only thing it would do would be more stuff to carry in. But I guess I don't have to carry it in the first day. Like, we could carry it in the second day or something. Because I've also thought about that in terms of like, oh, I could just take my embroidery machine to the hotel with me and make stuff when I get back to the hotel for the night. But Anime Inc. is like, it goes on like 10 to 10. So you're kind of, once you get back to your hotel, you're like done. But while you're at the convention, you kind of need something to do. Unless you're getting a tattoo. So it might not be a bad idea to just bring it and see what happens. And if I'm able to bring my laptop with me and like work on some files, I could like digitize some new stuff. I'm in a severe thunderstorm watch, so be ready and be careful. Okay. You be ready too. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the dogs inside. And then just use the bathroom while I'm at it. But if the stream gets cut off, it's because we're getting bad weather. But I'll go until it kicks me off, if it does kick me off. I hear the thunder coming. Gosh, I can't find my mouse. Yeah, I checked the radar. It's gonna hit soon. Okay. Yeah, I can hear it, and the people stopped mowing. So either they're done, or they like finished really fast, or they're packing up. But the dogs are in, and they're safe. And that chili, or not chili, the soup is banging. Like, I ate a couple bites to try it, and then I went back and I ate some more bites because it was really good. I can't wait to put all the toppings on it, because you put like ricotta cheese and was that it? Ricotta cheese? Something else to make it more of the lasagna type, but I'm really excited. I wouldn't do customs just for your stress level, but doing things to put out would be good. You definitely have plenty of time during it to get things done for the booth or even your next events. Yes, very true. That's why I like bringing something to work on, and at least in that case, I would know I have something to work on, unless I do what my fear is, which is forget something very important. Like, in college, I used to take my machine back and forth, so I'd take it home for the weekend if I was going home, and I have forgot my plug-in to my machine before. So now I haven't done it again, because the way that I pack it up is I like pull the cords out, put it directly into my sewing thing, and then take the machine, put it in. So I think if I pack it up like that, and like with the, hoops, stabilizer, I could also make a list. I should make a lot more lists, but I just don't like making lists when it comes to remembering, because I'm like, no, my memory should be good enough. But then that's when I mess up. You're under a warning now, so be safe. Okay. I will do my best. Are you guys still working, or do you have to like go into hiding or whatever? Sometimes when I started doing lives here and our power would go out, because for some reason every Tuesday it like rains or storms. Like, if I did a survey on how many times, I should do that for next year. We work till we die. That's very true. If I did like a tally of like, okay, it's Tuesday, today it rained, or it's Tuesday, today it didn't rain, there would be more it rained on Tuesday than it didn't rain. It's crazy. And the only reason I would know that is because I go live on Tuesdays, and it affects our electrical, our electricity sometimes, so the lights go out. But yeah, since we're an hour and a half in, if my power does go out, I probably won't restart. Just because I don't like when there's like two of the same thumbnails, and I think there still is one somewhere that I haven't deleted, but even though I love going live, I just have to get it all set up again, and then it gets confusing if I like talk about like, oh yeah, this live, and then there's two thumbnails. But hopefully the power doesn't go out. And hopefully everyone is safe. So if you guys are getting bad storms, I think there's some hurricanes, or a hurricane hitting Florida, I thought I saw. So be careful. And even if you're not getting a hurricane, you're probably getting some bad weather soon. Alright, let's see. I'm like just eyeballing the spacing on this. I usually will take the two halves and hold them like side by side, but because these have to be attached together, I can't do that. I would say Toothless is pretty popular for my hats too. That's kind of one that I forget about. But it sells pretty good too. I used to make a lot of Digimon. Like, that was the next competitors for Pokemon hats. I would get a lot of requests for Digimon characters. And they probably would sell pretty well still. I think I just started making more different Pokemon and kind of like just stopped on the Digimon train. But I'm sure it would be cool to bring back because I'm sure a lot of people don't get a lot of Digimon merch. So if there was like a Digimon fan and they saw it, it'd probably be like an instant buy. Ew. Yeah, of course you think ew. You live and breathe Pokemon. But Pokemon hats I would like to bring back that I don't make anymore. I would love to bring back Lucario and Latios and Latios. The reason I stopped making those is because Lucario has the little like hair things, almost like the dreads on his head is what I think that they look like. Those I wore hand sewing on, and then he's also got the mask, and then he's got like a strap that goes back, and like then that wraps like all the way around. So I was also hand sewing all that on. I do feel a little bit more confident in my machine sewing abilities that I could pin it good and machine sew it on where it would stay. But it would still be a lot of work. And then I would still, there isn't a way to avoid the like appendages that go on his head. So I would have to hand sew those on. But I've never made the Lucario one as a long hat. It's always just been the short hooded ones. So if I made it as a longer hat and sold it for more, that would be more realistic, and I wouldn't mind to do that and spend the extra time on it. And then Latios and Latios aren't too bad, except for they have like the little symbols and it's right on the crease. So I usually just hot glue those on so that it comes out nice, but it takes forever to hot glue those on. And I used to hot glue Sylveon's like head that comes like down, like the hair or the fur. So I could, and I do that by doing like half and half. The only problem is like Latios and Latios, their symbols on their head are so like skinny, and I'd have to like line it up exactly. Otherwise, if they're off just a little bit, you're going to be able to see that one side is like higher than the other. But it's something to challenge myself. Because if I try to just sew it on as one piece, you get the little divot in the middle where the two seams come together, and then that's going to cause like a crease that you're not going to want. The first Espeon hat that I ever did, I made it for my cousin, and I put like an actual little gem for Espeon on there, but all the other ones now are just fleece pieces because, or like fabric pieces, because the gem, like I think I hand sewed it on, and I like tried to hot glue it on too, and it just doesn't really stay. Unless the gemstone has like places for the thread to go through, but that's like very specific. Like I need a red circular gem that has holes for thread, and this was like 10 years ago. So trying to find something that specific is a little harder. I could probably find something now. Amazon probably has like a pack of 100 that you can buy. Oh, that's another thing I want to do. I think I might have talked about it in one of my other lives, but I have all these little accessory pieces that I've used for Kirby just sitting in a box up there. And I don't really have any intention on using them for any kind of Kirby's or anything. And if I did, it would take a long time. So I think I might set up a bin, since I have the room, at Anime Inc. That's like $1 bin. And if you want to buy a little hat for your Kirby or your Lethal Company character, you can buy like a little cowboy hat. Or if you just want a little cowboy hat, you can buy one for $1. Because otherwise, they'll just keep sitting there in that bin. That's a cool idea. I think people would like that. I think so too. I hope so. Because I don't know what else to do with them if it doesn't work. And they won't be at every convention, just the ones that like have a 10 by 10 spot, so I have the extra room. And I have the claw machine too, so that'll take up some room. I thought about doing 2 sticker displays, but Joey was able to fit all my stickers on the one sticker thing at Possum Fest. So if I don't have to put up 2 of those crazy sticker holders, then I'm not going to. Keep hearing thunder. But then it also might be like the people that were mowing loading up, because it's like a really low like growl. then it's like back to back. It's not like the thunder that's like one in unison all together. All right, now I'm gonna sew up these parts that I didn't catch. And then I think I'm gonna plug in my hot glue gun. Because if I'm making a lot at one time, sometimes I do this, and then when I get to the part with the eyes, I'll do all the eyes. Like hot glue eyes, sew on eyes, then hot glue eyes, sew on eyes. But in this scenario, because I have 2 Jolteons that need the eyes sewn on, I think I'm going to do just hot glue, set them aside, work on Umbreon so you guys see something a little bit different, little change of scenery. And when I get to the black thread, I'll sew up these eyes, because Eevee and Jolteon both have the black eyes. Does it save me time? No, probably not. But it does make me stay a little bit more sane because I'm switching up things. Because you get tired after a while of, you know, sewing the same straight line or sewing, hand sewing over and over again. I get that way with Kirby's. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to sew these arms on again. Like that. Is Joe, I apologize if I spelled it incorrectly, coming with you to Anime Inc? Yes, my husband, Joe, Joey, Joseph, he's got a whole bunch of different names. Yeah, as far as like everything's supposed to go, yes, he will be there. Because I definitely need the extra help with all those hours. Because usually I split the table with my friend Easy Breezy Draws, and they didn't want to do it this year, and I was like, I would like to give it like one more shot. So I told them if they wanted to, that I was gonna get the table and like secure it, and if they wanted to, they could join me. But I don't know if they're gonna come, but I do have the space in the hotel if they wanted to. So the plan right now is just Joey and I. I also invited Bethany Once Upon a Spark, but I think her work is gonna collide with that, so I don't think she's gonna be there. But yeah, Joey is usually off on Fridays. So unless he works overtime, like out of all the times, if this is the time he has to work overtime, I don't know what the plan is then. I'll still go, but it'll be by myself. And is it like is Joey gonna drive? Because then that's an 8-hour drive, each of us by ourselves there and back. So if everything goes right, though, Joey will get off early on Thursday so that we can leave earlier to get to Richmond, Virginia earlier. But that's like if the stars collide. If the stars align. If the stars collide, I'll be by myself. But luckily, I have a lot of people there that I know and I consider my friends. So, I'm not too worried if I'm gonna have to be by myself. I also requested to be by Nella and Pendragon, if you guys know them. They're some good artist friends from Florida. And they got this was a couple of months ago. Anime Inc. got back to me pretty fast and said, yeah, that wasn't a problem at all, that, you know, they'll put it in the notes right now. So hopefully all is well. Let me hand swap this one, and I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my hot glue gun. It's getting darker. Does anybody have a thermal label printer that they recommend? Because mine, I think, has officially bit the dust. The USB cord, when it's plugged in, it says it can't read the USB. And I've tried a different USB plug, and it says the same thing. And I use that same port. I plug in my thumb drive and things like that. So I know that it works. I plug in my printer, my other printer. So I think it's more of a issue with the label printer. I would love to reach out to like one of those companies that like sponsor you and like, you know, talk about our stuff in this video and we'll send you a free printer, or like, you know, talk about our free printer that we gave you in your YouTube video and, you know, it's yours. But I don't know how to do that. Also, I don't know what names to look into that I know that are actually like legit companies. I believe Lelaine, that's on YouTube, that does art. I think she did a sponsored one, so I could see which one she did, and at least I know they're kind of like a legit company. Rolo or Munbin? I don't know if that's how you say that. Okay, I think I've heard of both of those. I love Munbin, or whatever that one is. They sponsor a lot of small businesses, but the product is genuinely awesome. Okay. Good to know, good to know. I might try to reach out. I've never done that before, so I don't know like what exactly to say. I don't know what, if it's a I reach out or if they reach out, but I'll give it a shot. Worst thing they can do is say no. And then if I don't hear anything back, I'll buy one in the next month or so. Because right now I can use my paper printer. It's just wastes a lot of paper and ink and tape. Or it's not wasteful, but it uses a lot more than, you know, if I had a thermal printer, it doesn't use any of that. I think I just bought a new thing of, because I have a Dymo thermal printer. And if I can't use it anymore, I have rolls of that paper, so maybe I can sell it on, I maybe post it on the Artist Alley thing. I bought the printer off of Mercari back in 2020. And it's, you know, I think it was like $40 and it's been good to me, so I can't complain. All right. Let's glue. I don't think I cut out noses. So here's our little Eevee eyes. I have Totoro eyes in here because I made a whole bunch of Totoro eyes, and then I ended up only making like 2 Totoro hats. So I still have, I think, 3. sets of Totoro eyes. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder. But I do need to make Totoro because that one is sold out. I just have so much that I want to make. I have a list of the evolutions I still need to make, and then I also have a list of like other, like I would like to make Applejack, Twilight, Fluttershy, Pochita, Mimikyu, Toothless, Haunter, Gengar, and that's not even including, like I just said, I want to make Totoro. The plan though is for a lot of these, I just want to make one. The reason I'm making two right now is because of the orders that I have to go out. I don't have a label printer. All I've been using is normal paper and packing tape. And that's what I used for the first, I don't know, many years of my like Etsy selling. I only finally switched in 2020, and I didn't even know it was a thing until I think Tia mentioned it, that you could get a thermal printer. But in 2020 it was when my online shop really popped off, and I was getting like, at one point we went over 100 open orders, and we were making masks and stuff too, so we were shipping out a minimum 5 orders a day. So printing all that and putting all that tape to put the label on and all the ink we were using, Tia was like, why don't you get a thermal printer, and then it's automatically like prints on like a sticker and you don't have to use packing tape, and then also it's not using ink, so it's going to save you money on ink. And it was a really smart decision. Like, it was a good idea that we switched, because it saved a lot of time too, not having to put, I don't know how you guys tape up your like labels, but the minimum is you need at least 4 pieces of tape for each side. But I like to do one right across the barcode too, in case it like rains, at least the barcode is intact. So yeah, that's it. I do recommend it if you're getting a lot of online orders. It'll save you time. Oh no. I lost the notes. I do 5 tapes over the label. Yes, same. I think that's the go-to. Usually, when I go to the post office, like all the different places I've lived, the people in the post office usually start to know me. Like, they don't know me by name, but they know me by like, oh, that's, you know, the girl that brings in the packages. Hi, Rid. And specifically, like, usually I bring in teal packages because that's like kind of like my color. But I think I'm finally at a post office where I don't think that they hate me. Because there's been a few times where I'm like, these people don't like me because I'm bringing in all kinds of packages. And I usually try to be like nice, and I'm always patient, and lots of times I don't even like, when I drop them off, I'm like, you know, you don't have to scan these, just like right now, just scan them later. And if I have a whole lot, I print out a print form, like a scan sheet. And lots of times they're really happy with that. But this post office I'm at now, is the guy is always so like appreciative of me when I bring in the scan form. If I usually do it if I have more than like 4 or 5 packages. Usually with my Patreon is when I would do the scan form. But one time he was training someone, and he was like, she knows what she's doing. Like, she's always prepared. And he's like, so Not everyone, but she usually does bring you a scan form, and then you just